Jimmy Butler scored 42 points and lifted the Heat to a 128-126 victory over Milwaukee last night. So the 58-win Bucks, who finished with the best record in the NBA this regular season, are donezo, eliminated in the first round by Miami. Jimmy Butler was awesome, as he tends to be in the playoffs. Giannis was less than awesome, but still showed up to talk to the media after the game. And there was an interesting exchange between he and a reporter. You might have seen it by now. If not, check it out.
But I'm curious for you. Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh, my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success, And if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, exactly. So why you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. We're gonna come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball. And hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures? No, it was not. It was steps to it, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one.
When I say Giannis was a little less awesome than Jimmy Butler, it's only because Jimmy Butler, again, was incredible. 42 points, another ridiculous performance on a big stage. Giannis did get 38, though. He was 38 and 20, but 10 of 23 from the free throw line.
And what were they doing at the end of that game? It was shocking. Leaving the timeouts on the table in regulation and overtime. Like, what?
He's not a good free throw shooter. He'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. But, boy, in an overtime game, in an elimination game, 10 of 23 from the free throw line is pretty bad.
And then the play where he just didn't want the ball because he knew they were going to foul him at the end. Yeah.
That gets into your head.
Yeah.
So the Bucks are now done after being the 1 seed in the East. The 8-seeded Miami Heat move on. And Giannis, as you saw, was asked if this season is a failure. Is it?
I thought they were going to win the title. So
well, a lot of people did.
What do I know? I like his response, and I love angry Giannis. That was like the Giannis that threw the ladder earlier this season. Yeah. I enjoyed that. But I do think he's right. Like, is every season that you don't win a title if you're a good team a failure? I mean, we've looked fondly on Grizzlies seasons, over the years, and they've never won a title.
Yeah, but I thought he set that up as a little bit of a straw man thing because nobody was asking him if the season was a failure because they lost Game 7 in the finals to Denver. They're asking him if it's a failure because you were just eliminated in 5 games as the 1 seed. Is that a failure? And I think undeniably it is. Yeah. Now, it should be noted, Giannis left Game 1 after 11 minutes, didn't play Game 2, didn't play Game 3, right? Now, they did win 1 game without him. And in fact, the only game they won in the series is a game in which he did not play. But when your star player, as we know, is sidelined for important playoff games, things get really difficult. So I think you can make sense of the Bucks not getting out of this, even though the Heat were obviously dealing with injuries as well. Nothing as significant as Giannis not playing,
Right.
but still, they had their own things to overcome. But there's no getting around the idea that when you're the 1 seed and you get eliminated in the 8 seed, you have failed on some level. I think the broader point he was trying to make is spot on and worth making. And it's among the reasons he is, at least in my opinion, the most likable superstar in sports right now. Like, I don't know anybody who doesn't like Giannis Antetokounmpo, admire Giannis Antetokounmpo. And if you are somebody out there raising your hand like, I don't like him or admire him, then there's something wrong with you. You have to look in the mirror there. This guy is, far as we know, everything you would want a superstar to be about. Everything, as far as we know. So I appreciate the broader point he was trying to make, but comparing it to Michael Jordan not winning championships in 9 of his 15 years, like, nobody's saying you're like, if you lose in 7 games to the Celtics, then that's one thing. Mm-hmm. Losing in 5 games to the Heat, that's quite another. He is right that in sports you're going to deal with success sometimes, and things are not going to go your way other times, and that's just sort of the way these things tend to go for most athletes, even the great ones. That's all correct. But the reporter was clearly fishing for something, and the right way to answer it, I think, is to say, of course this is a failure. I cannot believe it's April 26th and my season is over. I cannot believe that we won 58 games this season and got the 1 seed and were set up to maybe win a second championship.
Yeah.
And I got hurt, and then Jimmy Butler got going, and credit to them. They were the better team in the series. And yes, to be out of the playoffs right now is a failure. It's a disappointment. But we've gone all the way to the end of this thing before as well, as you know. And our plan will be to come back and try to do that again next season. I never thought I was going to win a championship every year of my career going forward after I won the first one. This is hard. This is hard to do. There are great players who never won even one. But what I'm going to keep doing is putting my team, this franchise, in a position to try to compete for championships every year. And one year we know it went our way. This year, boy, didn't even come close. And we'll see what happens next season. I plan to get to work immediately. Something along those lines, where you acknowledge the failure, you acknowledge the disappointment, but then make the broader points that he was trying to make. To just get frustrated by it. And I get it. Like, listen, I've never gone 10 of 23 from the free throw line in a high-stakes game and been eliminated. I'm not blaming him for being frustrated with the question. If I were him, I'd probably be frustrated with the question too. But there was he made a lot of good points in those 2 minutes, but I think you can make those points while also acknowledging. Whether you want to use the word failure or not, it seems like such a strong word, but at the very least, it's a disappointment. Even when Giannis was sidelined, because this is the thing, even when Giannis was sidelined, the Bucks were favored to win these games, and they just lost them.
Yeah.
Even without him, they were supposed to beat the Heat, and they didn't do it. And that, by definition, again, not to use too strong of a word, but by definition, that is a failure.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.